Big news is breaking at Stamford Bridge today, and Chelsea fans everywhere are talking about it. In the space of one summer, we are watching a young Brazilian midfielder walk out the door while a Portuguese wonderkid gets set to walk in. Two very different stories, but both of them tell us something important about where Xabi Alonso wants to take this club next. So grab a cup of tea, get comfortable, and let us go through everything you need to know. Have you been following the transfer window this summer? If you have, you will know it has been one of the busiest we have seen in years. Chelsea have been busy on both ends, bringing in fresh talent and letting go of players who no longer fit the plan. Today we are looking at two of the biggest stories, Andrey Santos heading to Manchester United and Geovany Quenda finally arriving after more than a year of waiting. Let us start with the one that will hurt a little. Andrey Santos is leaving Chelsea. Fabrizio Romano, the man everyone trusts when it comes to transfer news, has confirmed that Andrey Santos is joining Manchester United. His famous words, "Here we go," are now attached to this deal, and that means it is as good as done. The medical is set to happen within the next day, and the contract will run until June 2031. Manchester United are paying £50 million for him, and Chelsea will also get a 10% sell-on clause, which means if United ever sell him for a big profit later, Chelsea get a cut of that money too. Now let us pause for a second. How do you feel about this one? Some fans will be sad to see him go because Santos has always looked like a player with real quality. Others might see this as smart business, given how crowded our midfield already is. Both reactions make sense, and that is exactly why this story is worth talking through properly. Santos joined Chelsea back in 2023 from the Brazilian club Vasco da Gama. He came in with a big reputation as one of the most talented young midfielders in South America. Last season he made 43 appearances in all competitions, which shows that he was not just a squad player sitting on the bench. In the Premier League alone he played 27 matches and scored 1 goal. Those numbers tell us he was getting real minutes, even if he was not always a guaranteed starter. So why is he leaving now? A few reasons seem to be lining up. Manchester United have had a tough summer chasing midfielders. They missed out on Elliot Anderson, who ended up joining Manchester City in a huge £116 million deal. They also missed out on Mateus Fernandes, who instead signed for Tottenham Hotspur for £85 million. On top of that, United's own midfield has taken a hit, with Casemiro leaving and Manuel Ugarte picking up a knee injury at the World Cup. That left United searching for reinforcements, and their eyes landed on Santos. Reports say Manchester United's director of recruitment, Christopher Vivell, used to work at Chelsea as a technical director. That connection seems to have played a part in this move happening. It is often the way in football. People who know a player from the inside end up chasing them again once they move to a new club. Does that make the deal feel a bit more personal to you? It does to a lot of fans who have been watching this story unfold. There is also the football side of things. Santos himself is said to want more regular starting minutes, something that has been hard to find at Chelsea given how strong our midfield options already are. Moving to Old Trafford gives him a fresh start, a new manager in Michael Carrick, and a real chance to be a first-choice player rather than fighting for scraps of playing time. From a young player's point of view, that kind of opportunity is hard to turn down. For Chelsea, this is not purely a loss. £50 million for a player who was not guaranteed to start every week is a strong piece of business. Add the 10% sell-on clause, and Chelsea are protected if United develop him into a superstar and cash in later. This is the kind of deal that keeps the club's finances healthy, while still giving a talented young man the chance to build his career somewhere else. Sometimes letting a player go is the right move for everyone involved, even if it stings in the moment. What do you think Santos will bring to Manchester United? He has the engine and the passing range to slot into a Premier League midfield, and United clearly believe he can be a long-term answer to their problems in the middle of the park. Chelsea fans will likely keep half an eye on how he gets on at Old Trafford, especially since we will get a sell-on percentage if things go well for him there. Now let us move to the story that is bringing a lot of joy to Chelsea supporters today. Geovany Quenda has officially joined Chelsea. This one has been a long time coming, and it is finally here. Quenda has completed his move from Sporting Lisbon to Chelsea, and he has already started training under new head coach Xabi Alonso during pre-season. For fans who have been counting down the days, this is the moment we have all been waiting for. Here is a quick reminder of how this deal actually came together, because it goes back further than you might think. Back in March last year, Chelsea reached an agreement with Sporting to sign Quenda for a fee that could rise up to around £41 million. The clever part of the deal was the timing. Chelsea agreed to buy him early, but allowed him to stay at Sporting for another season before officially making the move. That meant Chelsea locked in one of the most exciting young wingers in Europe without having to wait through a bidding war with other clubs later on. And there was a bidding war brewing. Manchester United, under Ruben Amorim at the time, were very interested in Quenda. Amorim had actually managed him at Sporting before moving to Old Trafford, so there was a real connection there. But Chelsea moved quickly and secured the deal before United could get serious, in what has been described as almost a secret operation. Does that not make this signing feel even sweeter? Beating a direct rival to a wonder kid always adds a bit of extra satisfaction. Let us talk about who Quenda actually is, because this young man has serious talent. Born in Guinea-Bissau in April 2007, he moved to Portugal as a child and came through the youth ranks, eventually joining Sporting's academy. He made his senior debut in 2024, and from there his rise was rapid. Over 86 appearances for Sporting, he scored 9 goals and provided 17 assists. He also became the youngest Portuguese player ever to score in the Champions League, netting during a 4-0 win over Kairat at the age of just 18 years and a few months. That is not a normal record for a player his age, and it tells you exactly why so many big clubs were paying attention. People close to him have compared his style to Bukayo Saka, especially in terms of his defensive work rate and willingness to track back and win the ball for his team. His youth coach at Sporting, Fabio Roque, has said there is only one Geovany Quenda and that he can leave a mark on football that is completely different from other players. He has also been mentioned in the same breath as Lamine Yamal, since both were born in 2007 and both are seen as two of the best talents of their generation. That is very high praise, and now Chelsea get to see if he can live up to it in the Premier League. Quenda operates mainly as a right winger, though he can also play as a wing-back, and he is naturally left-footed, which gives him an interesting angle when cutting inside from the right. His pace, close control, and ability to change direction quickly make him a real threat in one-on-one situations. Have you seen the highlights of his dribbling at Sporting? If not, it is worth looking up, because it gives you a good idea of what Chelsea fans can expect once he settles into the team. He has signed a long-term contract at Stamford Bridge, reportedly running for 7 years with the option of an extra year on top. That shows real commitment from both sides. Chelsea are building around him for the long haul, not just bringing him in for a quick impact and moving on. This fits the pattern we have seen from the club recently, signing young, hungry talent and giving them time and trust to grow into their roles. Of course, arriving at a new club is never simple, especially in a competitive squad. Quenda will be competing for a starting spot with players like Estevao, Pedro Neto, Jamie Gittins and Alejandro Garnacho. That is a serious group of attacking talent, and it means Xabi Alonso has some tough decisions to make about his starting 11. How do you think the manager will rotate these players across the season? It is a nice problem to have, but it is still a problem that needs solving carefully so that everyone gets enough game time to develop. There is also an emotional side to this story that is worth mentioning. Quenda has spoken about how difficult it was for him to leave Sporting, a club that clearly means a lot to him. He said there were nights he could not sleep because saying goodbye was so hard. He has even said he hopes to return to Sporting one day before his career ends. That tells you this is not just a business transaction for him, it is a real emotional step, and it shows the kind of character he has. A young player who cares that deeply about the club that raised him is often a player who will also care deeply about the next club he plays for. Let us zoom out for a moment and think about what these two moves together tell us about Chelsea's direction. Santos leaving and Quenda arriving is not a coincidence in terms of timing, even if the deals were agreed at different points. Chelsea are clearly building a squad full of exciting, young, high-ceiling talent, while trimming down areas where they already have strong depth. Midfield was crowded, so a talented player like Santos moves on for a good fee. The wide areas needed more firepower for the long term, so a generational talent like Quenda comes in. Under Xabi Alonso, it looks like Chelsea are shaping a squad built for years of success, not just a quick fix for one season. Bringing in a 17 or 18-year-old on a 7-year deal is a statement of intent. The club believes in developing players over time, rather than only chasing the finished product. Does that excite you as much as it excites me? Watching young talents grow into their potential in Chelsea Blue is one of the most rewarding parts of following this club right now. There is also a financial angle here that deserves credit. Signing Quenda more than a year in advance for a fixed fee, while letting him continue developing at Sporting, was smart planning. And selling Santos for a solid fee with a sell-on clause protects the club if his value rises at Manchester United. This is not reckless spending. This looks like careful, thoughtful squad building, and that should give fans confidence in the people running things behind the scenes. So where does this leave Chelsea heading into the new season? The attack now has serious depth and serious quality, with Quenda joining a group that already includes some brilliant young talents. Pre-season training has already started, and reports say he is settling in well and working closely with the new coaching staff. Fans should expect him to need some time to adjust to the pace and physicality of the Premier League, since that jump is never easy even for the most talented teenagers. But the tools are all there. The pace, the dribbling, the eye for goal, and the maturity he has shown in interviews all point to a player who could become a huge part of Chelsea's future. Meanwhile, Santos gets his fresh start at Old Trafford, and Chelsea fans will likely be watching from a distance, wishing him well while also hoping our midfield options step up to fill any gap he leaves behind. Football is a strange business sometimes. One player's ending is another player's beginning, and both stories are happening at the exact same time this summer. What are you most looking forward to seeing from Quenda once the season kicks off? Are you going to miss watching Santos in a Chelsea shirt, or do you think this was the right call for both player and club? These are the kinds of questions that make following transfer news so much fun, because everyone has their own take, and there is no single right answer until we actually see it play out on the pitch. One thing feels certain though. Chelsea are not standing still. This club continues to move with purpose, building a squad that mixes proven talent with genuine wonder kids, all while staying smart with money. Santos leaving for a good fee, and Quenda arriving as one of the most talked about wingers in Europe is a perfect example of that balance in action. So there you have it, the full story behind two of the biggest Chelsea headlines of the summer. One player heading off to write a new chapter at Manchester United, and one player finally arriving at Stamford Bridge after more than a year of patient waiting. Keep your eyes on training ground updates over the coming weeks, because Quenda's first appearances in Chelsea colours are going to be must-watch moments for every fan of this club. Thank you so much for reading through this one with me. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Would you have kept Santos, or do you think this was the smart move? And how excited are you on a scale of 1 to 10 to see Quenda in a Chelsea shirt for the first time? Come back soon for more updates, because with this Chelsea squad, there is always something exciting happening just around the corner.